There are stories whispered around campfires, stories carved into temple walls, stories sung by wandering poets, stories of kings, emperors, and generals. But then, there are stories that do not belong to books or thrones. Stories so brutal, so impossible, so far beyond the limits of flesh and bone, that they rise above history and become something else entirely. This is one of those stories. This is the legend of Tep Rati, the Khmer warrior who walked more than 3,000 kilometers barefoot, through jungles that swallowed armies, through storms that split mountains, through lands so deadly they were believed cursed, all to reclaim his freedom and ignite a rebellion that would shake a kingdom. The legend begins in the suffocating heart of ancient Cambodia, where the air is so thick it feels alive, and the jungles breathe like sleeping beasts. Tep Rati was a young warrior of the Khmer tribe, loyal, disciplined, fearless. His people said he had the fire of the sun in his blood. But during a border skirmish, fate turned against him. The rival Porak clan ambushed his patrol. Spears rained from the trees. Rati fought until his own spear shattered in his hands. He fought until his arms bled. He fought until he couldn't stand. But numbers overwhelmed honor, and he was struck down, bound in chains, and dragged away like a hunted animal. For months, he lived a life worse than death. He hauled timber through knife-sharp undergrowth. He carried stones until his spine screamed. He cut paths through forests dense enough to drown the sky. His feet split open. His back became a map of scars. His hands shook from exhaustion. But his eyes, they never dimmed. Inside him burned a quiet fury, a promise. I will return. He memorized the guards' routes. He studied the land. And he waited for the sky to break. It happened on a night when the heavens tore open. A monsoon storm, the kind spoken of in myths, ripped across the land. Thunder cracked the earth. Lightning turned the jungle white. Rain hammered the ground until it turned into a river of mud. And in that chaos, Tep Rati struck. A guard slipped, just for a second. That second was all Rati needed. He slammed a broken spear shaft into the guard's neck, grabbed a waterskin, and vanished into the storm, barefoot, bleeding but free. His escape was not salvation. It was the beginning of the nightmare. The jungle he entered was no place for men. It belonged to predators older than kingdoms. Every step sank into swampy earth. Every vine felt like a serpent's grip. Every rustle carried teeth and hunger. Mosquitoes tore at his skin. Poisonous insects crawled under his clothes. Giant pythons moved like shadows beneath the leaves. At night, he slept in trees to stay above the tigers. At dawn, he woke to the screams of unseen creatures ripping each other apart. Food was a luxury. Survival was a war. He ate roots softened by rain. He fought monkeys for half-rotten fruit. He roasted insects over fires so tiny the rain nearly smothered them. Every mouthful tasted like dirt and pain, but every bite kept him alive. Then came the rivers. The monsoon had turned rivers into monsters. Entire trees, boulders, and broken branches thundered downstream like arrows fired by gods. Rati tied vines together and held on as he crossed. Once, a hidden rock sliced open his foot. Blood spiraled into the water. A silent signal. A crocodile surged from beneath. With one final burst of strength, Rati climbed onto a branch hanging low over the river. The crocodile's jaws snapped shut where his leg had been moments before. His heart didn't slow for hours. But nature wasn't his only enemy. The Porak clan sent patrols. Hunters skilled in tracking. Men who knew the jungle's every breath. Rati moved like a ghost. He walked in riverbeds to hide his tracks. He covered footprints with leaves. He breathed through his nose to stay silent. Once, a patrol passed so close he could feel the heat of their torches. For nearly a full minute he didn't breathe. A single cough, a twig breaking, even a heartbeat too loud, would have ended his legend forever. Weeks bled into months. His hair grew wild. His beard tangled like vines. His skin cracked and peeled. His feet bled with every step. But stopping meant dying. So he walked. Next came the starvation lands. A wasteland between jungles, feared by warriors, abandoned by gods. The sun struck the ground like a hammer. Shade did not exist. Food was a memory. He dug for roots until his nails ripped off. He licked dew off leaves. Once, he survived 3 days on nothing but a handful of ants. But his greatest trial came on day 147. A giant monitor lizard, nearly 2 meters long, desperate with hunger, charged him. It lunged with bone-crushing jaws. Rati had only a stone. He struck once. A third time. The jungle fell silent. That night, he ate his first real meal in months. That victory carried him for weeks. Then one morning he saw it. A river he recognized. A line of mountains carved into his memory. The scent of home carried on the wind. He crawled to the ridge and saw them. The distant fires of the Khmer tribe flickering like stars. His legs gave out. He fell to his knees and wept. For the first time since childhood. When he limped into the village, people froze. Some screamed his name. Others dropped to their knees. He looked like a ghost carved from scars and iron will. But when they saw his feet, torn, bleeding, raw, they understood. He had walked across hell to return. Word spread like wildfire. Within days, thousands rallied behind him. And so the rebellion began. Rati led them using everything he had learned in the wilderness. Every patrol route memorized, every weakness studied, every secret path burned into his mind. He turned guerrilla warfare into an art. He struck where the enemy was blind. He vanished before they could scream. In a single night, they destroyed the Porak stronghold. Their tyranny ended. Their grip on the land shattered. Years later, elders would say, Tep Rati didn't merely return home. He returned reborn. He did not walk 3,000 kilometers. He carved a path through death itself. He walked beyond suffering, beyond fear, beyond the limits of the human body. He walked into legend.